Alright, welcome back for a much needed video. You guys asked a lot about the high beam fix on the new eBay headlights I put on the 2012 Mustang I got. We have a solution, sort of. It's a little excessive. As of right now, there's no actual way to fix the headlight high beam to work with the factory high beam switch. Basically, as I've said in a lot of the comments I've responded to, the wiring is set up for a dual filament bulb. When you hit the high beam switch, it's expecting the bulb to have the other filament that lights up to give you your high beam. Well, instead of that, the H7s that are in these lights are a single filament, so it just turns the bulb off completely because there's no other filament for the bulb. In all reality, it should be set up kind of like a bi-xenon, where it switches the wiring over and then it's just the projector lens that moves whenever you hit the high beam, and in the low beam the light will stay on the entire time. One of the Facebook groups I'm in for the S197 stuff, he actually came up with a fix. Now, I wanted to make mine look as OEM as possible, and if I decide to get the actual 1314 lights, I don't want it to be any kind of permanent stuff where I'm never going to use it again. So I didn't want to put any like weird switches or anything in the footwell or on the dash or anything like that. But what we ended up doing, you ended up needing the switch regardless, just because of how this is set up. But I'm gonna go ahead, I'll show you guys kind of what we did. It's all kind of put together right now. He's still gonna drill a hole, but I'll show you. Alright, so before we did all this is what would happen when you hit the high beams. Go back to the lows real quick. So anytime you would hit the high beams before, the lights would just go out. And they act like that because it's expecting another full filament in the bulb. And yeah, so this is kind of like a workaround for now, because these headlights are the first version of them and they're missing one of the pins that they need to have in order to have the high beam. Anyways, you hook the splice connector up to the white wire and you run a wire from this headlight to this headlight on the other side, that white wire. You splice those two together, and then you'll need a wire for your power. So we hooked it up to the low beam, which is what that splice connector on the red wire is. And then those two wires are connected and run into the actual into the car through the firewall where the that air tube is. So I'm going to put this back together and I'll show you how that looks. Alright, now in the car there's a hole for the air tube that comes in here. You run the wires down. It's got a button that's hooked up here, and then you have to hook up your ground wire, which I have my ground wire right here under the footwell still, just bolted in. And then all we have left to do after I show you guys how this works is cut the hole in here so that it looks as factory as possible, and then the light still lights up. So if I ever want to do line lock or exhaust cutouts, I'll just hook it up to the switch that's here. And if I do the 13-14 gauges, I'll probably delete this whole thing anyways. So yeah, I'll show you them working, and then get that cut, and then we should be done. Low, high. So now, when you hit the button, in here, this will light up with your high beam, well, the blue for your high beam, and then your low. So you don't use this switch anymore like you normally would, which kind of sucks, but it's a fix for now. So now we'll get it all buttoned up and show you what it looks like when it's done. Excuse the annoying Ford noise, but here's the finished product. So you have a switch off to the side that works the high beam now, technically. So then this light will be on and will let me know I have my high beams on. Get it all together because there's a little tab for the trim that goes right here, and that runs into the actual dash right by where this goes in. So you kind of got to wiggle it in there, but yeah. high, low. So there you have it. Now we have a fix for the high and low beam. It's not perfect by any means. It's not exactly what I had in mind, but for what it is and everything, it works. And if I decide to do anything else with the car, it'll be fine. So if you guys found this helpful, please drop a like, hit that subscribe button. We'll be doing more car stuff in the future, obviously, because, well, that's all I do, really. Eventually, I want to do the, got a Skeeter in here, but anyways, I want to do the 13-14 gauges on this. I'm waiting to do anything else to the car right now. This was just my biggest priority for now. I thought about smoking the headlights and stuff, but I'm going to wait and do that. I thought it looked kind of cool, but the tint that I bought is just kind of hard to work with. If I decide to do it, fine, but let's see what these headlights are like with having the high and the low again, and go from there. So yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions or anything. Also, thank you. Thank you for the help. I don't know how to pronounce your first name, so I'm just going to say your last name, which is Gonzalez. Thank you for all the help with this. It was extremely appreciated. Because otherwise I would have been clueless with this, because I'm not good with wiring or anything like that. So thank you. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video. Take it easy. Have a great day. And hit that subscribe button.